Good evening, this is Venkat, and I'm going to facilitate you with this session. Here we're going to discuss who is business analyst, what is business analysis, and who can become business analyst and how you can become business analyst. And before I start, let me clarify that I assume that you do not know anything about IT nor business analysis. Okay. So I start from ground zero. Now we all are aware of IT companies. Okay, generally IT companies, what they do, they develop applications for their clients. Right now, in IT companies, who develop these applications means the technical team. How they develop these applications is by using a technology. By using a technology. Okay. Now, technology like .NET, Java, like Oracle, SQL Server, like that, they use this technologies and they develop these applications. Right. Now, let us understand about the clients. Clients, why they need these applications. For that, let us try to understand. Clients will have a business and they run this business based on a business process, and this business is subject to market trends. Okay. Now let us try to understand what are these market trends. Market trends means most of the times these will be latest IT applications of that particular domain or vertical. Okay. So the clients, in order to stay in the market, to be in the market, they have to follow these market trends. Now let me give you an example so that we can connect it to this business market trends. What are IT applications like? For that, let me consider bank 20 years back. Now, bank 20 years back, if you understand, at that time, banks used to give only home branch banking. Banks used to give only home branch banking. At that time, when you want to do any banking activity, you have to walk into the bank in person and then you have to do your banking activities. Later on, banks computerized themselves and they gave us the facility any branch banking. That means now in that particular bank, any branch you can go and do your banking activities. Later on, they gave access to their ATMs, credit cards, debit cards, and then we have this internet banking, mobile banking. Now, present day, one new bank wants to come into the market. They want to open their operations. They claim that they can only give home branch banking. Now, will we be interested to open an account with them? Definitely no, because they do not offer the other facilities. Right. So here, if you can understand, like mobile banking, internet banking, ATMs, debit cards, credit cards, all these are IT applications. So latest market trends are mostly IT applications. This is not only for banking. You take any vertical, most of the times, okay, latest market trends would be IT applications, right? So the client requires IT applications to stay in the market, to be in the market. Now let us try to understand the technical team who develops these IT applications. Their focus would be mostly on the technology. The client who wants these applications, their focus would be on the market trends and their business. When both these parties interact with each other, there are chances of miscommunication. There are chances of miscommunication. To bridge this gap, a BA is introduced, and a BA will be communicating with the client using business language, and BA will be communicating with the technical team using technical language. Now, here, let us try to understand what is business language and what is this technical language. Business language means it's the basic vocabulary of that particular process, project, or product. Okay, so it's like let me say, suppose if you are working for a hospital management system, then you will be using terms like inpatient, outpatient, pharmacy, lab records, IP billing, OP billing, likewise. Now let me say you have completed this project and you got a new project and the new project is into banking. Now, can we use this vocabulary there in the new project? Definitely no. There we have to use a different vocabulary, the banking vocabulary. Like we'll be start using like customers, NRI customers, or we can say privileged customers, accounts, savings accounts, salary savings accounts, and then we have this loans, two-wheeler loans, business loans, and then car loans, home loans. Likewise, we use it. The basic vocabulary of that particular process, project, or product, we call it as the business language. Now, let us try to understand what is technical language. Technical language means it's not technology. Here, we draw diagrams and we prepare documents. Using diagrams and documents, we communicate with the technical team. Now, what are diagrams? Diagrams means it's like a flow chart. First this happens, next this happens, next this happens, like that, it will be there. And documents means it's an explanations of the requirements and the diagrams. Okay. And if you look into the responsibilities of a business analyst, we have three prime responsibilities. Number one, client interactions. Client interactions means actually we work in an IT company along with the technical team. We are the face of the team to the client, and all client communications happen through a business analyst. Therefore, we are responsible for client interactions. Okay, and the second one is we take the ownership of requirements. Taking the ownership of requirements means the client will be sharing some requirements with us, and not always we know 100% of those requirements. Sometimes we may be very new to some requirements. In such a case, we have to do our homework, understand about it, confirm our understanding with the client. Once the client says yes, then talk with the technical team. Okay. Now, at our present workplace, we do the same thing. Let me say, suppose if you do not know a concept at here, you come across a concept which you don't know. We can't leave it like that. Instead, we have to understand about that particular concept by contacting the process experts or the process owners, and then we have to handle that particular concept. Okay. The same approach here in business analysis, we call it as taking the ownership of requirements. Okay, and the third one is we do process re-engineer. Now, as a BA, we suggest solutions to the client. Before we suggest the solutions, we need to understand where we are suggesting the solutions, because our solutions vary depending on the process. Our solutions vary depending on the process. So we need to understand the existing process. Understanding the existing process, we call it as process re-engineer. To get more clarity on this, let me give you one example. Let me say we want to do transfer funds. For us to do transfer funds, we can walk into a bank and you can do it, or through ATM you can do it, or through mobile banking you can do it, or through internet banking you can do it. Now, whatever application you find in a bank is not the same application in ATM. That's a different application. Mobile banking, that's a different application. Internet banking, that's a different application. So we have 4 different applications to do the same functionality transfer funds, right? Now, why we need to have 4 different applications to do the same functionality transfer funds? Because the underlying process in each of these areas are different. If the process is different, then our application will be different. Therefore, we need to understand the existing process. Understanding the existing process, we call it as process re-engineering. For the very first time, you propose a process, okay, that we call it as process engineer, right? So as a business analyst, we have three prime responsibilities. Number one, client interactions. Number two, we take the ownership of requirements. Number three, we do process re-engineering. Okay. Now, let us try to understand what we do in a project as a business analyst. Okay. Initially, we go and gather requirements from the clients. Now, while gathering requirements, we use elicitation techniques. Elicitation techniques are like brainstorming, document analysis, reverse engineering, focus groups, like that. We use these elicitation techniques and we get the requirements. Now, what is an elicitation technique? It's a meeting with a client. Any meeting with a client which has a specific objective, we call it as an elicitation technique. Generally, we use elicitation techniques to gather requirements from the clients. And once we gather requirements from the clients, the next step is we are going to document them. In a Word document, we are going to write these requirements using some standards. Standards like IEEE, CMMI, like that, and company specific standards will be there. Generally, how it happens is when you join your company, the company will give you the template of the document, and using the template, you have to write your requirements. Okay. And then we are going to model the requirements. Modeling the requirements means we draw small diagrams to bring in more clarity. Most of the times these diagrams will be like flowcharts, and in our case we draw diagrams using UML, Unified Modeling. And then we communicate the requirements with our technical team. Okay, once we give these requirements to the technical team takes to the next level, so like design, development, and testing stages. During these stages, as a business analyst, we are going to track the requirements. Tracking the requirements means, suppose the client has given you some 150 requirements, we should ensure that all the 150 requirements are covered by the team and they're not missing out any of the requirements. It's just like a checklist. Yes, this is covered kind of thing. We have to ensure. And generally, we track requirements using an Excel sheet, and that Excel sheet we call it as RTF, Requirements Traceability Matrix. Okay. And once the development starts, client always comes up with change requests, and as a business analyst, we handle change requests. And once this application development is completed, the client, before accepting it, the client will test it. The client testing it before accepting it, we call it as a UAT, User Acceptance Testing. And as a business analyst, we have to facilitate UAT. Now, what is UAT? UAT means, let me say, suppose you want to buy a pen from the store. At the time of purchase, we will scribble with the pen, and the pen is writing fine, then only we'll buy it, otherwise we'll not buy it. The type of testing before we accept it, we call it as UAT, User Acceptance Testing. And as a business analyst, we should facilitate UAT. Okay, that means we have to give enough knowledge to the client so that the client will test the application and take it back. Okay, so this is what exactly we do in a project as a business analyst. Initially, we go and gather requirements from the clients, and then we are going to document those requirements. Okay, and then we are going to model the requirements using UML, and then we are going to communicate the requirements with the technical team. Once the team takes to the next levels like design, development, and testing stages, we are going to track the requirements using RTM. We are going to handle change requests, and finally we facilitate user acceptance testing. Right? Now, for any individual to get into this and to get into a project as a business analyst and to contribute as a BA, they should be equipped with 8 skill areas. If you know these 8 skill areas, then you can confidently contribute as a business analyst in a project. So let us try to understand these 8 skill areas. Number one is BA directives. BA directives means it's real-time knowledge of successful business analysts. Like suppose if a project is initiated, how many BA should be there in that particular process? What are the do's and don'ts BA. What are the thumb rules for a BA? How to handle people, how to handle situations, that would be discussed here. And then we have this BA competences. BA competences means good communication skills, listening skills, adaptability, leadership skills, problem solving skills, negotiations, all this comes into picture. And all these competencies will understand in case studies. And then we have this SDLC, software development lifecycle. Software development lifecycle means how an IT company develops a project. The process in which an IT company develops a project is given through SDLC, software development lifecycle. And SDLC is best understood by methodologies and models. And we have four base methodologies: sequential, iterative, evolutionary, agile. And we have models like waterfall model, V model, spiral, RUP, and Scrum. The latest buzzword in the market is agile and Scrum, and we cover that. And then we have these functional skills. In functional skills, we're going to discuss about object-oriented. I'm sorry. In functional skills, we're going to discuss about BPM, business process model, and domain model and conceptual model, through which we can actually understand how to do this process each. And then we have these technical skills. In technical skills, we are going to discuss about object-oriented approach and UML, through which we actually draw the diagrams. And then we have this requirements engineering. Requirements engineering means what we have learned so far. Okay, requirements engineering means as a business analyst, we are going to handle the requirements right from the beginning till the end. The process in which we are going to handle the requirements is governed by requirements engineering. Here we are going to understand how to prioritize the requirements, how to validate the requirements, and how to find the qualifications of a good requirement. All this we'll understand in requirements engineering. And then we have these tools and documents. As a business analyst, which tools we are going to use, which documents will be a part of it, we are going to understand. Documentation tools like MS Office, UML drawing tools like MS Visio, and prototyping tools like Just-in-Mind, Prototyper, Wireframe, Sketcher, Azure, Balsamiq, like that. And coming to this task management tool in Agile, we go with Jira. And coming to the documents, it is like BRD document, functional spec, SRS document, design documents, a project closure document. Okay, these documents we make a walkthrough of them. And then it is the BA strategy. BA strategy means what we have learned so far, where to apply what knowledge, that is given through BA strategy. Okay. So if you know these 8 skill areas, then you can confidently contribute as a business analyst in a project. Okay, so we should know these 8 skill areas. If you know these 8 skill areas, then you can easily contribute as a business analyst in a project. Fine, got it, clear on this. Now, let us try to understand what qualifications are required to become a business analyst. Number 1, good communication skills. Whatever you speak, the other person should understand, and whatever the other person speaks, you should understand. And second one is minimum graduation. Any graduation, but minimum graduation. Third one is BA skills. Skills required to do these activities. And the fourth and the last one would be like experience. Now, experience may you hear like you work in a process or in a project we consider relevant. Okay. Now, coming to the paybacks. Okay. Now, paybacks would be minimum 30% hike from the present payback, and it is even more higher for deserving candidates. It all based on the company and how the interview went. All these parameters will influence it. And then coming to the market opportunities. On day basis, you'll find 10 to 15 new openings coming up for business analyst. And here, the last 6 months, we have seen somewhere around 2,956 openings, which is approximately 16 openings per day. That means slowly BA job market is improving, right? And coming to the competition. Suppose if your profile is shortlisted for an interview, how many people you need to compete in order to get an offer? It is in between 4 to 6 people. Okay. The competition is very, very less when compared to any other verticals in IT because of lack of awareness. If someone wants to get into IT, they try their luck by learning a technology like .NET, Java, Oracle, SAP, or testing like that. They don't know that this role exists. Okay, so that's a very reason competition is very, very less. And what we do with COEPD is we impart this business analysis skills by conducting a training program. Okay, and this training program generally we do it in 2 Saturdays and 2 Sundays. Generally, we conduct a training program, and this training program will be for 2 Saturdays and 2 Sundays. That is for 4 days we are going to make it. And this training is endorsed by IIBA, International Institute of Business Analysis. And with this training program, you'll get 40 professional development hours certificate. And this certificate is valid globally. Okay. Anywhere in the world, you can showcase this certificate. They recognize your business analysis knowledge. And as per IIBA, business analysis is change enabling activity. And a business analyst is a change enabler. Business analyst is a change enabler, right? And here in business analysis, we have 5 variations. Okay. Number 1, IT business analysis. Number 2, agile business analysis. Number 3, business process management business analysis. 4, business architecture business analysis. And the 5th one is business intelligence business analysis. Okay. Now, IT business analysis means as a BA, we enable change in a process. If this change is enabled through an IT solution, and that IT solution is developed through traditional methodologies, then that we call it as IT business analysis. The second one is agile business analysis. As a BA, we enable change in an organization. Okay. And if this change comes through an IT solution and that IT solution is developed through agile methodologies, then that we call it as agile business analysis. Business process management business analysis. You work in a process and you strive to improve on the process that comes under business process management business analysis. And next is business architecture business analysis. Business architecture business analysis means it's like, suppose in your company a new vertical is proposed and the process is new. Initially, they come up with a plan and they start implementing it. During the process of implementation, we will be facing some problems or challenges, and we overcome these challenges by refining the process. Okay, the process of enabling the process improvement or efficiency, that is called as business architecture business analysis. And the next one is business intelligence business analysis. You take any company, okay, there will be managers at various levels. There will be managers at various levels. These managers will take decisions. Okay, these managers will take decisions at their level. How these managers will take decisions is because they can generate reports. And how they can generate reports is because these reports will have direct access to some data. Okay, which data these managers are using, what sort of data they're using, and how this with this data what sort of reports they are going to generate, and based on these reports, like what decisions they're going to make. All this comes under business intelligence business analysis. All right. Now, the way we induce knowledge in the training is through activities. It's an activity based learning. Initially, we'll introduce you with a concept. Then we explain you about that particular concept. Then we make you practice on it. This practice. Either we'll give you a case study where you need to actually work on that case study. or else will give you a situation where you need to handle that situation, or else will give you a role play where you need to enact it. Okay. Which one is more suitable to this particular concept, that will make you do. And while you are doing, we'll see what is the approach you have taken and what is the deliverable you have made. Once that is done, we understand what is your thought process, because whatever you think in your mind, the same thing you'll be doing it. Okay. So then we try to guide you as a business analyst how you should think, what should be the opportunities, what will be the options, and how to uh, as a BA here, we are going to guide you how you should think, what should be the approach, and what should be the deliverable. In that mode, we impart that knowledge to you. Okay. And once this training is completed, then we start this nurturing process. Okay. Now, nurturing process means what you have learned in the training, we make you actually practice them in the nurturing process. For that, we give you 40 plus activities. Okay. And student coordinator will be assigning you the work, and once you do it, mentor will evaluate it, and then the mentor will give you a feedback like what went wrong, what is correct, and where you have to improve. All these things they'll be discussing with you. And during this time, we'll give access to the LMS, learning management system, where you can download 100 plus prep exams, document downloads, exams, everything will be there. And here you will get access to 100 plus prep exams. And then we have this document downloads, and then we have this let me say, after document downloads, we have this we give you access to the forums, and then we give access to the blogs. Okay, to all these resources we'll give it. And once this nurturing process is completed, then we'll start the resume preparation. And in the resume preparation, HRs and mentors will help you how to add those new business analysis skills in your profile. They'll help you. And once the resume preparation is done, then we conduct 3 levels of mock interviews to ensure that you speak the same language what is there in the profile. Okay. And after that, we forward your resume to the placement wing, where they start projecting to multiple companies or to companies or clients. Okay. And once you got a job, okay, we give you 12 months on job support. Okay. And this 12 months on job support is subjected to the NDA form which you signed with the company, and we do it only in India, right? And there's a frequently asked question: suppose if I take this training program, how soon will I get a job as a business analyst? For that, initially the training would be for 2 weeks duration, and then we have this nurturing process. Nurturing process, it will take like a 4 weeks to 5 weeks time. So tentatively, it will take 1.5 months for you to learn business analysis. Okay. And once you are available in the market, you need to attend a minimum 3 to 5 interviews. Attending 3 to 5 interviews, sometimes it may take 1 month time, sometimes it may take 2 months time. So practically, it will take 2 months till 3 months time for us to get into the role of a business analyst. And 3 months time is a practical duration where people are getting jobs. Okay. And our next batch starts on this March 27. So next batch starts this March 27. Fine. And concerning the fee details, batch details, you can contact the help desk team members, and they're going to help you out with this information. Okay. And any questions you can ask me. Right? Got it. Thank you. Thank you for your participation and listening. Okay. And I wish you all the best and I wish you all the best in your careers as well. Thank you.